Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to the Synchronicity Podcast. I'm Nicole.
And I'm Megan.
And we are the co-founders of Synchronicity, Change Your Brain to Change Your Life. We work in plant medicine reframing, conscious relationships. We work in microdosing. What else do we do? We do a lot of things. Holistic nutrition.
We teach you how to be a securely attached, faith-driven, and I mean faith as in we live in a good world, not a bad world.
That's true.
You know, we teach you how to be the person that you've always wanted to be but didn't know how because your parents or somebody jacked you up along the way.
So you get to be your true self.
Yes.
We teach you how to be your true self.
Yeah.
And step out of your parent ego, imprinting.
Stop being a victim and how to live your life the way that you always wanted, not how everybody else wanted you to.
Facts. So today's topic is kind of been a buzz around social media because a lot of people have been talking about no contact, which we did talk about in one of our previous podcasts. But this one is particularly talking about kind of what happens and the importance after a breakup, like the self-care that's involved during and after a breakup, because it's so much more than we're broken up. It goes down into chemical detox, biological detox, environmental detox. There's a lot of things that are happening in the body. So we're going to talk about the importance of it and
mainly tailored towards women.
Yeah, mainly tailored towards women, that the importance of taking care of the body, taking care of the mind, taking care of yourself. And, the importance of taking this time before you go back out into the world and start dating again, because it's really important to not just jump into another relationship.
I would debate that.
Just jump back into another relationship?
Dating. You should start dating almost immediately. The sooner the better.
I said dating. I said in a relationship, you said dating. Two different things.
Gotta replace them.
I mean, I'm not against that. You can't sit at home and sulk all day.
Gotta replace them.
But don't go jump in bed with someone, because that is not going to help.
No, the whole how to get over someone is to get under somebody. Do not do that. You will fuck up your hormones so badly.
Yeah.
As a woman, even as a man, but especially as a woman, please don't do that. You are biologically fucking yourself up. It's good to go hang out with other men and be around other testosterone and other people you have chemistry with, because it gives you hope that there is another man that you will fall in love with.
While your brain is detoxing from the other one.
Do not collapse into hookup culture and think
help.
that will help. That will just make everything worse.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people out there talking about, just go do that. And I don't understand it from a biological perspective, because it can take a woman up to 2 months, if not a little bit longer, to completely detox from the other man. Oxytocin detox.
Yeah.
The bond.
Yeah, oxytocin detox at a minimum is 2 months.
Yeah, I mean, it can last. Some scientific proof says it lasts up to a year.
It totally depends on the woman. It totally depends on basically how many orgasms you had, because the more orgasms you had, the more oxytocin is released.
It's a thing.
But, most men, I would argue, are especially American men, are not that great in bed. They got rated the worst in bed of all of this. Anyway, not that that's important. I'm not here to talk about that.
If you're not oxytocin positive, because it was bad in bed. Is that what you're saying right now?
It's a thing.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Sorry if I'm offending people.
That was a complete out of I mean, I saw that statistic that American men are horrible in bed, but I really, up until that moment, had not put the two together, because if you don't have an orgasm, then you don't have an oxytocin rush in the brain, and therefore you actually don't bond to a man.
Not as high.
Yeah. So
every time you have sex, you release oxytocin, but you release higher amounts when you orgasm. So
here we are.
But it totally depends.
We're not judging your man on how good he was in bed. We're just here to help you get through your breakup.
I mean, you can judge him. I'm not here to judge, but Anyway,
And we're not going to bash him.
so when you're going through an oxytocin detox, it minimum 2 months.
Yes.
You know, you can go up to it for up to 2 years. Some of us longer. It totally depends.
Yep.
But so really big note on this. You can't see photos of him, hear his voice, or smell him, or it starts over. Once you have bonded with a man, aka had sex with them, every time you smell them, see them, or hear their voice, you release high levels of oxytocin in the brain, and it will re-bond you. So if at 2 months, which is when men are done ruminating and they usually come back, biologically, he might be fucking with you because he knows unconsciously if he gets into your vision, into your ear holes, or into your, what did I miss? Eyes,
Ears.
smell. What did I
Your
miss?
DMs.
Anyway, if you smell him or see him,
you can't see him.
it will start
Smell
over
him.
again. And he
Yeah.
wants you to be bonded to him because men are men. But just so you know, if you do not want to get back together with this human being, or you're like concerned, like maybe this isn't, depending on what the breakup was and stuff, do not see him or smell him or hear him, text him, see where he's at, get a tone. Because if he's fucking with you, then you have to start all over again with the feelings of hopelessness and all of the things that you go through when your brain is detoxing from, because it essentially turns into a toxin. It's a hormone, but it feels like a toxin when you're detoxing off of it. So, that's a big thing that they don't talk about in no contact, because, a lot of the people that are talking about no contact don't know the biology of what's actually going on in a woman. And it takes about 2 months for the vasopressin to kick in and be like, where's my territory? I still want her to be my territory. Well, if you don't want to be somebody's territory, block him and don't talk to him again.
Well, and the thing too is like, I think that there a lot of times like women will be like, well, I don't know. They'd make all of the fucking excuses because I've made these excuses before. Like, oh, well, we can still be friends on social media. No, you cannot. Not right now. That's fine. You can absolutely like snooze his ass. Now, I'm not saying you have to block him, but if you're going to check his shit all the time, block him. And then you can like unblock him later. Like, it'll be fine. It's not about his feelings. It's about taking care of you. So, take the photos out of your phone, put them in a hidden folder in your phone, or whatever you have to do. Don't go through the text messages. If you have to get an accountability partner, or if you have to set a reminder on your phone, whatever you have to do to not see him, to not read the stuff, to not smell him, don't listen to voicemails, don't
Throw away his clothes if you had
do
any.
all of the things. Yeah, like
Wash them.
or put them in a Ziploc bag and, I don't know, put them in your trunk of your car.
Burn them.
Burn them. Give them back.
No way. Then you'd have to see him or smell
Oh,
him.
yeah. You can send them
Mail
to
it
him.
to him.
Yeah, there you go. Just ship it to him. And
Leave it on his front porch.
on fire. Just kidding. Don't.
We're
Don't light anything on fire.
We're projecting about our exes. So
Don't light anything on
hopefully
fire.
you had a nice breakup.
Yes, I don't recommend playing with fire due to, it can get out of control very quickly, as we are currently seeing in California.
Yeah,
But
I just made a joke.
it was a joke. Fire's a joke.
I actually have never lit any of my ex's stuff on fire. I was never on that level. I would throw it in the trash. I was also never much of a sweatshirt stealer. I know a lot of girls are, but I wasn't. I don't know.
I don't know. The one I did have, I gave it back long before the breakup. So, because it was just oh, I'm going to wear this when I get over to your very cold house. Anyways, so when you're going through an oxytocin detox, it can actually feel like you're physically dying.
Yes.
It literally hurts.
Yeah.
Biologically, it hurts. And a lot of times, I remember when I was going through one in particular, I felt so ill for months. I was so sick. Not necessarily sick, but I had no appetite.
It's depression.
Yeah, I had no appetite.
It's literally situational depression.
Yeah.
Because of the oxytocin withdrawal in the brain.
Yeah, and I remember I was living in California at the time, and like I remember Meg came out and visited me like 2 months after our breakup, and she was like, "Holy
I bought her a lot of sushi.
shit!" Like, but it took me almost 2 months to like actually eat real food. Like
Yeah.
my best friend would always like that I worked with at the time. She'd be like, "Did you eat today?" And I'd be like, "Oh no, I forgot to eat today." And then I would go and like try to work out, and it was like I had so much body fatigue that I was like, I can't even like walk on this treadmill right now. I just want to go home and go to bed.
Weakness.
So if you're going through a breakup, these are normal biological things. I have heard women literally go to their therapist and get put on an antidepressant because they didn't understand biologically what was happening to them. And they were just like, oh, you have depression. Well, they didn't get asked that they were going through a breakup and like didn't get broken. Like they didn't understand what was biologically happening.
Well, therapists don't know what's biologically happening.
Right.
We're weird.
So this is very important to understand that you're not dying and it
Well,
will pass.
the part of you that was his is dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing.
It got lit on fire. Topic of the day is fire, apparently.
But it's a time to go within and self-reflect and like look at, what was not good about the relationship and what didn't feel good, and journaling. And it's as Nicole said earlier, it is a time to go within.
Yes.
I'd highly recommend microdosing, going down and doing ayahuasca, doing these things that kind of help you. If you haven't listened to our podcast on self-awareness and self-reflection, that's a big part of a breakup, is like, what went wrong? What goes on? How do I change that the next time? What am I willing to accept the next time? What kind of partner? It's a time to get really clear on what you want and what you don't want. And, part of that is, for a woman, it's replacing the oxytocin with like healthy dopamine. Mm-hmm. And healthy dopamine is like going and getting a massage, going to yoga class, movement, go get a pedicure,
to hang out with.
Go hang out with your girlfriends. Sleep at least 10 hours. I'm giving you permission. There's new studies that are coming out that say women actually need more sleep than men. Wow, shocking.
Especially on a full moon, Cancer full moon.
So it's a time to, and remember that women have to feel good to do good. So when the feminine is the body. So when you're going through a breakup, your body's going to hurt. And it's one of those things of like, how do I help the body feel better and replace that with healthy dopamine to help with the oxytocin withdrawal? And it helps tremendously. I just went through a breakup in September, and I was super, super conscious of like, okay, how am I feeling? Where am I at? Like, do I need to eat a healthy meal to like, to make the body feel grounded and nurtured and loved? Do I need to go get a massage? Do I need to go to yoga class? Like really asking my body what it needed, because it's not about the mind. It's about healing the heart, because breakups are in the heart chakra. It's why, when I went through my first really, really bad breakup, when I was 23, I got so sick. Like when I think back on it,
you were dying.
I
thought you were having a heart attack.
I was in Switzerland because I used to be a private flight attendant, and I called my mother because I don't have panic attacks. I am a super like level-headed human being, and I had my first heartbreak at 23, and I literally thought I was dying. I called my mom and I was like, I'm dying. I can't breathe. The heart physically breaks, and first heartbreaks are usually worse than ones, at my age now, like the breakup I just went through, you kind of hopefully learn. But at 23, I was devastated. Doesn't even do it justice. I literally thought I was dying. It's funny that you brought that up, because that's why I paused. I was
you feel like you're dying.
I had bronchitis. My heart was shattered. I couldn't breathe. Mm-hmm. I popped an eardrum flying. I was the biggest disaster I have ever been in my life, because I was so in love.
Yeah.
I was so, so in love. And, getting over that took actually years. It probably wasn't until I was like 26 or 27 to where I actually felt normal. or more normal. But that was, and I wish I would have known this, right? Because I didn't practice these things when I was going through that breakup. At 23, you know, I went into masculine of like, I'm going to go run 10 miles and, you know, not eat and just destroy the body because I went into not self-love, but self-loathing.
Norepinephrine.
Yeah, total norepinephrine and the withdrawal and everything was just horrific.
Yeah.
And, you know, selflessness is not good for a woman, especially going through a breakup. We have to go into nurturing the body, understanding what's going on, and you know, not punishing it for the fact that like something didn't work out.
Well, and also like the most important, like beautiful thing about a breakup is like it gives you the ability to step even deeper into self-love.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going through a breakup, there's a reason why that breakup happened. And if that break in that relationship breakup happened was because two individuals were not functioning on the same vibration or whatever it was that cracked. And so it's a great opportunity to like look at it and be like, okay, so like, where did it go wrong? What am I at fault for? What am I really mad at the other person for? Finding it within yourself, because relationships are mirrors. Yes. And it's the biggest opportunity for you in any breakup to be able to say that part of me is also broken. So I'm now going to stop blaming that person, even though it hurts really bad and I'm in a detox right now, but I am going to take the opportunity to heal myself right now. And having those really healthy boundaries, like we say, like remove the photos, get rid of the sweatshirt. Like we're joking when we say like burn it, but in reality, like that relationship is over. You can mourn it and you can move on, but you are now becoming a new version of yourself. That relationship is burnt. So now you get to be the phoenix rising from the ashes. Are you going to choose self-loathing, or are you going to choose self-love and do the work and grow from it? Because every single thing like that, devastating, of course, is an opportunity to grow deeper relationship with yourself.
Yeah. I mean, the greater the adversity, the greater the opportunity. And I will actually say that my heartbreaks have been my biggest teachers. And if that heartbreak wouldn't have happened when I was 23, I wouldn't be sitting here today. He changed my life and made me the person that I am. And actually, it's one of the things I'm most grateful for in my life, because it really made me start to question who I was, how I acted, how I showed up in my life, who I wanted to be, who I wanted to be with. It really was one of the major catalysts, or literally more like a catapult in my life, because it forced me into so much pain, right? And pain is change needed, or pain or change in progress, right? Pain is not, we have pain, uncertainty, and constant work. It's the three non-negotiables in life, and breakups really bring up all three of these to a very amplified extent. And that was one of my like on my knees moments of like, I really need to look at my life, because this doesn't feel good.
Well, but also we've had many conversations about like, wow, we're just like the same person. Like you've talked about, like you saw in him pieces of you that were broken, and you've been able to be like, oh, I'm totally guilty of that too. And like, I'm guilty of this, and like been able to actually look at it. And it was a choice, because there was, and also like, who are you surrounding yourself with after the breakup? Are they perpetuating like, fuck him, he's a horrible person? Or are they perpetuating like, hey girl, are you going to yoga class? Like, are you journaling? Are you taking care of yourself? It's not about hating him, because if you hate him, you hate a part of you.
Yes.
Because you were in a relationship with him. Hate to break it to you, girlfriend, you're equals. So that's how it works energetically. So if you're sitting there hating that person, you're just perpetuating self-hate. And you're telling your unconscious mind those words, because that is you and you are it.
It's never somebody else's. It's never just one person's fault.
No.
And again, it's like Nicole said, like relationships are projection, right? You fall in love with missing pieces or like pieces of yourself. All of my exes have pieces of me, and I see myself in all of them. some more than others. The ones that are most like me or have the same wounds as me, or the people I've loved the most. And it's been the most heartbreaking, but that's why it was so, it was so healing in the end, is because it gave me opportunity and a chance for change in something that I was completely blind in. I didn't see it. I didn't know. And so they're actually the things that my relationships are the things, even if I don't talk to those people anymore, I am grateful for all of those men.
Well, but also the thing too is, if that relationship is over and you somehow do reconnect later on, coming from it of like not, and whether that relationship works or not, is going to really deeply depend on if both parties, when they were away from each other, worked on themselves to come back together. One of our mentors says, if you do your work and you pray the other person does their work, because that's the only way through life. You can't be with someone that's not willing to do their work if you're deeply in it, because you won't be a vibrational match.
Well, humans are humans, and humans are finite and fallible, and we have to honor that. We're finite and fallible. And, we, like you said, we do our work and you pray to God that they do theirs. And it's a thing. You cannot control anybody else. You cannot make anybody else step in.
Can't change them.
You can't do anything. You better hope that you have, or learn, not hope, you better learn to have good communication and to have good understanding and to date somebody of character and of discipline and of dedication. Because if they don't have those things, it's not going to work. And if you don't have those things, you're going to attract somebody that doesn't have them. So, it's getting real with yourself. So breakups are a huge opportunity to really get real and to look in the mirror and to change what you do not like. It's huge. It's a huge opportunity. And actually my last breakup was probably the easiest one I've been through, just because I really understood what it is as a, reflective tool, and as a just understanding and gratitude, approaching it with gratitude of what can I learn from this, instead of this is the end of the world. It was still quite painful, but it wasn't nearly to the extent of ones from my past.
It may feel like the end of the world,
but it doesn't as you become more conscious.
No, it's true.
That's the thing is like, to think it's the end of the world.
Biologically, it hurts though.
But again, that's unconsciousness of, not really understanding how to make the body feel good and those kinds of things, because that helps tremendously. Doesn't mean that pain is pain with a breakup. If you're not experiencing that, it's a whole different ballgame, whole different conversation. But, yeah.
Yeah. So, what are you eating? Are you moving your body? Feel good. Feel good to do good.
Drink
your body.
Spring water.
Drink spring water. Stay hydrated. Don't over-caffeinate yourself. Or over-caffeinate yourself. However it
drink
works
more
for
water.
you. Yeah. But overall, just be aware of what's going on. A lot of times when women go through breakups, we like to drown ourselves in like, what did I do?
Self-loathing and self-pity.
And we bury ourselves into a lot of things. But in the long run, eventually catches up to you. So this is just a little helpful guide to meet you where you're at, so you don't go full bore, like head in the sand, to then pop your head out and be like,
or stalker,
or
whatever the hell people do.
Yeah, it's like just not worth it in the end. Like oxytocin can actually make you really crazy, but just know that it's oxytocin, and find some really good girlfriends, eat some really good food, and if you can, get an animal.
Join our community.
Yes.
Join something that's helping you with your mental health. Become a part of something to heal. That's the biggest thing. Community is huge for women, and that's one thing we forgot to say. But community.
No, we talked about friends.
That's true, but I didn't put it as community.
Yeah. So if you have any comments, concerns, don't like, subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. We are doing our best to build our YouTube community and our YouTube channel. If you are listening to this on Spotify or Apple, you have most likely been here for a while. Thank you for being here. Share with your friends, download the episode, and most of all, please like and comment on our thing, the review comment thing. I can't think of the name of it. It helps the show out tremendously, but we also get to see what you guys want to listen to, what content you like, what content you don't like.
Well, and what are you going through? What do you want to know from us? You know, we're a wealth of knowledge. Please pick our brains. It also helps us just like know what you guys want to hear. Or, you know, just tell us you like what we're doing and keep just like making up topics and talking about things. So, we're super grateful for every person that's here, and thank you for listening to us. And
till next time.
Bye.
Bye.